Because I think the more research that psychology has been putting out, it's showing that there's a very strong link between the mind and the body. That at this point you really can't get away from just looking at what the thoughts are in the person's head, that you have to help them make that connection. An example might be someone who's very depressed. They'll come in to see me and they're telling me that their mood is low. They can't get out of bed, their thoughts are distorted, they're not eating, they're either sleeping too much or too little, they look pale, the way they even move is a very depressed movement, and so you can see that their depression is much more than just the mind. I use the term stress threshold, and when you think about your physical self or your emotional self, we tend to reach that threshold when we're in a crisis situation. So usually we don't know what our threshold is until we've actually reached it. And that's when someone comes to my office. They've reached the limit somewhere within themselves that they don't know what to do anymore. And so again, what I try to help the patient do is to connect the dots. Be an objective observer of themselves. But let's look at the patterns that brought them to that place, both physically and emotionally. Yeah, so many times patients will come to my office and they have a very close relationship with their family doctor. And they'll feel like they just don't have enough time to sit and talk with them. And they want to because they've known their doctor for years and they want to find a way to make that connection with them because that's the comforting feeling. And so when a patient comes to me, I'll tell them, you know, I will work with your doctor. We'll work as a team. Your doctor's working on the physical parts and I'm helping you connect the dots, helping you interpret your symptoms better so that maybe when you go in and talk to him, things can improve at a quicker pace. Well, I use hypnosis for many different things, and I've used it myself for pain management, people who are depressed, anxious, have stress, people who have self-esteem issues, self-confidence issues. I'll use it for many of these different things. Hypnosis is a selective, natural state of focused attention. And so I like to use the example of a daydream. You're looking out the window, you might be just, looking at a bird, you're very focused, you're in a very relaxed state. You are aware of the noises going on around you. You know that if there's a fire or something, you can quick run out of the house, but you're in a very relaxed, focused place. So you could be even doing that in the middle of an airport. That is what hypnosis is. It feels like your body becomes very relaxed, your heart rate decreases, your breathing becomes deeper. You can see someone's, as they're lying back in the chair, you can see that their face becomes very soft, their eyes kind of fall back in their head, and that's when I know that they're in a state where they can hear positive suggestions for healing. What is yoga?
Yoga actually means, the word itself means union, and that's where the mind-body connection comes together. So as you're going through your yoga practice, it's the breath that leads you through the practice, instructs you in the pose and out of the pose. And I think that's why it's very important that it complements alternative medicine practices. It's that physical discipline of the mind and the body, I think, which with regular practice, and I must stress regular practice, then one can achieve a peacefulness, a state of mind and body. But all yoga is Hatha yoga, and naturally that's the one I like the best, and I think it's a very good choice for stress management. It's the most common form of yoga, it's the most popular, And it's very easy for beginners to do because it's a slower paced class. It's very gentle on the body. Research has shown over the years that yoga does, just really relieve anxiety, depressive symptoms. It improves your mood. And how it does that is it takes your focus off of your problems or whatever is going on in your current life. And then it just helps to broaden one's perspective on how they feel, their internal, it's getting in touch with their internal feelings. And also the deep breathing exercises that we usually start class with, it's called pranayama, and prana means breath. So that's also relieves anxiety, increases mood, and helps stimulate energy also. But your doctor should, be aware that you're doing it, and yoga should not be a replacement for any medical advice, but always consult with a doctor before you start yoga or any other form of exercise, just to make sure you're healthy enough to engage in physical activity.